Um, Let me send out my little message and hello on Instagram. So today is going to be interesting. We're going to have a little bit of more precise focus. And if anybody on Instagram saw my post yesterday, I was talking about this kind of amplification that's happening. And to really make use of that, what we want to do is really come into our power. So I'm going to focus with you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to bring you into that focus. Hey, Roma, and help you to kind of develop that strength for yourself. And you'll be able to do this on your own. And it's always nice to do it in a group because it can be so much easier because we have that support and we can feel it more also when we're in a group. And then you can come back to that more easily for yourself afterwards. So power, everybody likes that word a lot. And what does it mean exactly to be in our power? Because so much of what has been called power out there really has to do with force and kind of lording it over somebody and really with using that physical force or that psychological force and to dominate. So power is not domination over somebody else. Holding your own power is coming from your own strength of your being. And when you do that, you don't have to control anybody. You don't have to like push into anybody. You can just hey Cherie, nice to see you. It's been a while. Good morning to you. Um, you can just hold your own and get the respect that and honor that you deserve. But you've got to come into that place first for yourself of really owning yourself, of being in your own strength and holding your own. Otherwise that won't happen. When we don't have that inner strength and that inner stability in holding our own and being really strong in ourselves, then what happens is that we have a tendency to try to push into others. And even when we're well-meaning, even when we're just trying to get along and connect with people, when we're not sure of ourselves, we're going to try to find a way in. And a general term for that is manipulation, where we try to manipulate things around so that we can just kind of get in there. But when you really own yourself, you don't need to do that. And that's power. So rising up with power is really coming into the fullness of your being and coming into that place of complete alignment, or as complete as you can be, because that's always unfolding and evolving. Then you can step forward and rise in your power. So I don't have any water here. I hope my mouth won't get too pasty here, but we'll just get started here. So take a nice deep breath in and let yourself just settle in, come in to your body, relax in a little bit more deeply. And just allow yourself to take a few nice deep breaths in, really breathing deeper and kind of inhaling more breath in than you feel you can hold, and then releasing out slowly, maybe through your open mouth too. When we inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth, that has a way of just kind of releasing, being kind of a releasing breath. So that's always nice when we want to shift gears and kind of settle down. And really expanding those lungs, filling them up with air as best as you can, and then just relaxing as you exhale. And then just taking a moment to settle into your environment, slow your mind down, and just kind of look around to connect with what's around you, and connect by noticing what's around you, whether it's sounds or the light or objects. um, Even if you're noticing like your clothes, the touch. Hey Asta, good to see you too. And then bringing your awareness back to yourself. So it can be your full body, it can be just an area of your body, somewhere where you maybe don't notice usually, like, notice the chair and then notice your knees, notice your back. So go back and forth like that. Notice the light coming in your eyes. Depending on how much light there is around you, there's more or less light coming in, registering on the back of the eye into the nervous system and taking that information into the brain. And then maybe noticing your little toes. You can take the full area that's in front of you, so the whole scene. And if you notice, you get peripheral awareness, so that's could be up to at least 180 degrees that you can take in and notice your shoulder blades. So that kind of gets you settled into yourself. So that's a really good thing to do, to just develop that practice of really connecting in with yourself. Hey, Kayla, good to see you. And so taking another deep breath in. Okay. And getting the group a little bit more settled, a little bit more deeply. You guys are doing very well. You are pretty well versed with that, so that's good. And I'm just going to ground the whole group a little bit more deeply and keep focusing on your breath, your awareness on your maybe your chest, your breathing, or your heart space if you want to go into at that level. And the breath just going in and out. Helping you in. Yeah, very nice. Going to take a moment to settle in here. Letting yourself kind of just get weighted down, that gravity weighing you down, just keeping you anchored in the physical level, and using that to carry it through to especially the energetic level. If we're off in our heads a lot, or been on the computer, or been running around, or whatever, letting ourselves tune into that gravity and that pull, just to shift that down also for ourselves. Maybe bringing your awareness to your lower back, like your sacrum, and all the way down to the tailbone. That will help to pull your energy down also. So I can help you with that. I can do that to a certain extent for you, but then doing it on your own is even more powerful and puts you more into your own power. So it's all good. And sometimes it's good to have that extra help, There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that is when we let ourselves get completely dependent on that for instead of doing it for ourselves as best as we can, as much as we can. And just feeling like that tailbone is just getting pulled down. There's like a little lead weight that's tied to the tailbone. It's just kind of having a little pull towards the earth, towards the core of the earth. Okay. Pretty good. Everybody's doing pretty well on that. That's good. Just clearing out the space a little bit. So come into center. As you focus on your breath, what I want you to do is just kind of feel like there's this center line that runs right through your body. So being focused on your body, this is kind of a double focus here. Focused on your physical body, like you can imagine like the outline of your body, like a little vase. That's the shape of the outline of your body. And then running through that center of that glass, that vase, is just this line that goes right through. So bringing your awareness, your attention to both of those at the same time. Seeing if you can let yourself do that. And if you need to, what you can do is go back and forth. So focus on the outline of your body and then come into that focusing on putting your awareness on that center line. And if you kind of drift off for a minute, because that will happen as you release things, as frequencies, energies that don't need to be there, as they shift, your mind might just kind of go on its own. So just bringing it back to that outline of your body, that center line. Really anchoring into that. With every breath, just feeling yourself getting more anchored into that center line and almost like getting pulled in. And you can even do that with your breath. On the inhale, let's say your awareness is out on the edge of your body. And on the exhale, just coming in more. Breathing in and pulling in. Exhaling, coming in with each breath. So you might be pulling in as you breathe in or pulling in as you breathe out, whichever works for you. Either way is fine. Sort of like finding your own rhythm with this. And really coming into that center. So yeah, I'm just going to help people get a little bit more, just a little clearing there to deepen that for you. Group is doing really nicely today. We'll see what happens in a minute. I have a little surprise here, but really focusing on yourself right now and that connection to your body. And feeling that solidness and that groundedness that it brings you into. And if you have like a little worry or a little fear that's kind of floating in the background, that's okay. Just kind of notice that. It's like, okay, we'll come back to that later. Just for this moment, let's just focus on really anchoring it as best as we can. Okay. So let's see what happens when we do this. So what I want everybody to do is just bring to mind yourself. Okay. So I'm going to start clearing that up. A lot of muck starts to show up. And that's all right. So notice whatever comes up for you when you think about yourself. A lot of heaviness. For some people, that completely disconnects you from pure source. And your connection to pure source gets totally mucked over. So you could connect that up with like a self-worth issue. And a lot of religious programming, family programming comes into that. Cultural and just what's the word? The collective. Programming from the collective. A lot of different programming from the collective. Need to fit into the group. You can't be better than anybody else, or else you're going to get either kicked out, ostracized, whatever, if you show yourself as different. So doing as the group does, however big or small that your group is doing, going with what the group is doing for survival. Basically, it comes down to survival, making sure you're going to be safe and okay. There we go. That's opening up. So good. Very good. Releasing all of those notions because they're not true, basically. They're not true. And they're things that have been held over you to keep you from really connecting in with yourself at that pure deep level. And when I say that, that's also there's a misstatement in that. That's how we understand it. But the truth is that connection is always there, but we lose sight of it. Um, and so we have to say it that way because we have lost sight. It's like gotten too dark. It's gotten too muddy. It's too foggy. So we can't. We've lost sense of that connection. And in fact, we're always connected. That's always there. It basically cannot ever be taken away from you. It can be covered up. You can be made to think that you're not connected, that you don't deserve to be connected. That's a big one for people. Deserving. And all this we work on little by little. It's not like all of a sudden we have full-fledged taken in our deserving and accepted it and taken it in. It's like, we do it by increments. We do it to the point that we need to do it. And then as we evolve, as we grow, then we'll step into a higher level. So that's fine. But that's always a good one to work on. Where am I keeping myself from deserving what I need to deserve for myself, or deserving what I can, taking in what I deserve in life? What areas of your life are you limiting yourself in that? Is it personal relationships? Is it work? Is it finances? Is it simply about being yourself around anybody? Maybe it's a little bit of all of them. Like just most everybody, we might have an area of stronger weakness, but it probably can work on it a little bit. Even if it's just a little tweaking through that. So taking another nice deep breath in. Let's settle back in a little bit more deeply into ourselves again. So that was a good clearing for everybody. There's stuff around work that's coming up. Taking care of the, I want to say taking care of the barnyard is what's coming up. So that might that might relate to somebody here on the call here, specifically, and worry about that. Yeah, there's a sense of there's a work, and then there's, I want to say the barnyard. I see chickens running around in the yard, so, and just that home life basically, and so a little bit of a disconnect between work and home life, and almost wanting to be more at home and really enjoy that home life. So a little bit there's that disparity between the two. Let's see if we can help with that a little bit. That's totally me. I thought so. Yeah, those chickens are great. It's great to have chickens right in the yard. It's like such a nice little clucking sound. That's very, very calming, very soothing sound, actually. All right, let's take another nice deep breath in and really feeling where you're at now. So, cleared out the headspace a lot for people with that one. So, that was really good. So, feel yourself now. Feel where you're at. Notice that there's a little bit calmer, more strength. As you're calmer, as you're more into yourself, there's more strength. So isn't that a nice feeling? Okay, let's take another deep breath in and feel yourself just coming in more centered into yourself. Okay, we're going to do another one here. It's coming up already. All right, so you guys are you guys are picking up on my thoughts here, but you're jumping ahead of me. But we'll bring in the humans. It's at spirit level you're already working on it, but let's get the humans lined up here also. So again, nice deep breath in, center in yourself. Now just bring up the thought of love. Okay, let's clear that one up. A lot of just into the heart space. Not too badly, actually, but there's still stuff that's coming up in front of the heart space. A lot of heaviness, a lot of wanting to. So keep focusing on your breath. Let's shift that out for people. Yeah, there we go. Right now, you can always go back to this stuff if you want to. Right now, let's just put it aside. Uh, And also efforting coming in, putting an effort into what you maybe love doing, for could be a lot of different reasons for that. Just you have to do extra work to get to the point where you want to be, kind of thing. So there's that can bring about a lot of tightness between the shoulder blades, the backside. So let's just put that aside for that. Let's give ourselves a pause on that. A lot, yeah. I see a lot of people, external people pushing in um, around that issue for people. Like people are angry. People are angry with themselves. So not angry at you, but people carry anger and because they were not able to do what they wanted to do for themselves, and they just let themselves get pulled around and didn't really do what they needed to do for themselves. So there's a lot of anger that's showing up in those external people, and we're just going to back them up again a bit, give you some space to be. Yeah, very nice. All right, take another nice deep breath in. Very different. So just notice how you feel. And we're going to do one last piece here. Everybody's jumping ahead of me. It's just calm. Calm, puppies, calm. And let's take a nice deep breath in. Settle into yourself first. It's like it starts feeling really good. It's like, I want to jump ahead, but let's just stay right where we are. We'll get there. It's really important to come into this alignment with ourselves and not go running off. So, if you would notice yourself doing that, just take that moment to connect with yourself because that's the most important thing you can do. Then you can go running off as soon as you connect with yourself, as soon as you're really anchored into yourself. So, let's take a moment to really anchor in. Just relax down. So, you come from all of you instead of like sending your energy out. So Your physical being moves with your energy instead of your energy going running ahead of you, and then your body kind of getting pulled forward. Uh, it's kind of like what you see in cartoons, you know. You've got that little figure that's shoo, and then you've got the physical body that's still there. The clothes, I guess it's the clothes they kind of leave behind. The body's just going, "Ping," and the clothes are left behind, and having to go back and get them. Settling it down, settling all the way down into your lower abdomen and your legs. Okay, very nice. Just feel yourself settle in. One more breath. Exhaling through the mouth. And then bring to mind relationship. Yikes. Okay, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. And, one of the reasons for that is because everything has to do with relationship. So, relationship isn't just about people to people. Relationship is about that what happens in the space between self and something else. It can be a person, it can be a thing. Your relationship to money, for example, your relationship to love, your relationship to your work. So there's a bit of stuckness there for people. So let's shift that. So take a nice deep breath in and come into that lower abdomen. And just breathe into that by putting your awareness there and just focusing on bringing your energy and your awareness there. It's a way of bringing love to yourself. So really just allow that breath and kind of feel that whole lower torso, lower abdomen, just expanding with the breath as I shift the heaviness there. A lot of the heaviness is like stuck patterning, and mm, that's so ingrained. Is where you can have a hard time getting out of it because it's so you just that movement is so it's like you got to stop yourself, and it's like, okay, no, and that's sometimes like it's so hard to do. It's like that locomotive action, and that wheel just turning and turning and turning and turning, and got to grab that and stop. So automatic behaviors. And maybe at one time the behaviors were not automatic, but then they get to the point where they are. And because we're not thinking about them, and we're just kind of automatically doing. Originally, it was really good, and yeah, for a while it was really good because we were still very kind of aware. Hey, Beth, good to see you. Kind of come in at the end, but that's all right. I'd recommend going back and listening to it. Just soak it in as best as you can. That's fine. Good to have you here. So focusing on your breath, just kind of get centered and grounded. Come into your lower abdomen. So we're working on clearing that out for people. Today is kind of that focusing on bringing people into their power. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, relationship to sex is another one. That's been marred way too much for people, unfortunately. Um, wow, a lot of pain in that one, and physical pain as well as emotional pain. Wow. Well, I'm sorry. This is a lot of nasty stuff here. Um, so just keep breathing into that. I'm going to shift that. I'm not even going to get into what's coming up. Let's just shift it because it's just a lot of pain. I'm going to leave it at that. So releasing that out. Yes. Wow. Sometimes people will come to session and do sessions, and what happens is let's say they come to a session with me and they say, "Okay, I wanna work on," let's say, sexual abuse. So, and it may comes up around a specific relationship, for example. So we'll work on that, we'll clear that. But when I do something like this, like what we've done today, what it brings up is not necessarily residue, but other pieces of that maybe weren't directly connected with what was worked on during the session. There's a lot of history there to be cleared out. Um, that may need to be cleared out for somebody. A lot of things that we get imprinted on in with, and the imprinting can happen just when we're seeing it happen, or we hear about it and we feel it. And for people who are empaths, it's very easy to get imprinted just by hearing about it, because you're feeling the other person's emotional stuff, or what they went through, so you get imprinted with that. There's a lot of different pieces like that that come in. So, um, because I've had people come to sessions and I point something out and says, "I thought I worked on that." And it's really, I know it gets really frustrating when that comes up. It's like, "Oh God, I thought I'd worked on that." But it's just we've worked on it to the degree we needed to at the time to feel more stable, and then we're going to a deeper level of stability, so it comes back up. Well, there's an interesting piece. Keep breathing into your lower abdomen. We're almost clear with this one, at least for the little clearing we can do here. Oof. And there's a lot of physical abuse that's showing up also, either people on the call, or it could be uh, live. Yes, I work on others who have issues. Yeah, so if you're an empath, you got to work with that one. Um, it's a really nice quality in terms of being able to really understand people, but then we need to work on not taking it on. So, and everybody, you can find your own little way of doing that. There's not necessarily a set way of doing that, but being really aware of your body, taking that time after you work with somebody to really just connect with yourself can help a lot. And maybe you also have found some other good tips that you can share here too. Physical abuse, yeah. So corporal punishment, maybe not necessarily in this lifetime. Oh, so shifting some of that out for people as well. Yeah, if you found anything that you found useful, Beth, for yourself in terms of that, when we work with others, that's a very big issue for like caretakers, nurses, uh, uh, being able to separate out enough so that they can really be in that open and loving space for others, and yet not just burn themselves with all that stuff, especially in the hospitals and those kind of settings that can be pretty, or just working with like social workers and stuff that can get into very very heavy, the deep heavy stuff of human existence. So yeah. So let's take a nice deep breath in, taking another layer off here, shifting that out. Teachers who work with at-risk teens. Yep, that's another example. And you've got it coming from like the family side. It's coming not necessarily with everybody, but I see it coming in from the family side, the school side, the kids side, other teachers side. that don't understand what's going on here. Um, and yeah, that's the best way to, that's the easiest way to put it. So yeah, give yourself. I hope you can do this, but I'll say this for anybody who's listening, everybody else too. Just a reminder that it's really important for us to take that time regularly, whether it's daily, weekly. I would say not less than weekly. Taking that time to just connect with yourself and put everything aside, even if it's only for 5 minutes, especially when we do the heavy work, so to speak, of working with the, excuse my term, but it's going to be the human mug, but that just that level of heaviness of human life is what I mean. And to just refresh yourself, reconnect in. That's a really important thing to do. It's important for us to do anyways, but um, so just a reminder, because that's what recharges your battery, reconnects you to that source of life, which you carry within, but sometimes just gets so covered up by everything that's going on in physical life, to help you realign, re-strengthen that connection to yourself and pure source. I suit up, I put up shields. Okay, that's good temporarily, and then as you build up shields, uh, also work to get to a place where you don't need those quite as much. I can understand why you'd be doing that. But just work on strengthening that yourself too, and okay, let's take another nice deep breath in. Giving ourselves that space, coming into nature, when we can, feeling that connection to the earth, to pure source, to ourselves. Okay, let's take another nice deep breath in. Feel yourself where you're at. Feel the calm in the space. Feel the calm to whatever degree. If you came in a little later, then it might not be so strong for you. But feel that inner calm for yourself. And feel that strength. You got a lot on your back, Beth. So, yeah, it's. I think we could have done a little bit more clearing for you a little earlier, but your upper back and shoulders could use some extra help there of just releasing. So I'm doing a little bit of that for you right now, but also good whatever else you can do beyond the call. Or you might even want to come back to this and re-listen to the whole call from the start too. I don't know exactly when you popped in, but I didn't see you on until a bit later. And feel the brightness. So those who were on from the beginning, yeah. But you'll have to do something with that, because I can kind of take off that layer that you've got on now. You just want to do what you can to keep it clear. That's always the trick for all of us, right? We can clear up the stuff, and then the trick is to keep it clear, or keep it clear and keep working on that. So sometimes it's a lot easier said than done. But hey, all right, everybody feels pretty good, looks pretty good here. So a little bit longer than what we usually go for, but That feels really good. Hope everybody feels brighter and more settled in themselves. Everybody is definitely looking brighter. Um, yeah, with you, Beth, I just see kind of when you really joined in, which was kind of with the lower abdomen. So that's a bit clearer, and it would be good for you to work on the other two parts. So you can just go back and listen to um, on my feed since you're coming out of Facebook there. And yeah, very good. Very nice to see everybody. Good group, good work today. So, coming into your power, about coming into yourself and connecting in with yourself, and then just holding on to yourself like there's no tomorrow, because there really is no tomorrow. Breaking news, no tomorrow. This is it. There's only this moment right here, right now, right? And just how precious you are, and really letting yourself connect to yourself, feeling that connection for yourself and love yourself. This is the way to love yourself. And this is the way to come into your power. Connect into yourself, connect into your strength, hold on to that. It's not always easy in everyday life. We had more or less challenging situations and jobs, but taking that moment, even if it's only 5 minutes, go into the bathroom if you need to step out of the room. Sometimes I've done that. Sometimes you just need to do that. Get into that little space by yourself. Take deep breath in, focus in, feel your body, feel yourself, realign. But everything else can wait. 5 minutes can be, even a minute can seem like 5,000 years. 5 minutes can be a really long time. That's all it takes. So give yourself that moment. See, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Asta. Thank you for coming by. It was great, Marianne. Thank you. Thanks, Roma. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. And I finally noticed that the time was wrong for the United States. It's been saying 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's been off for a while. And I finally noticed that. So it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, yeah, 1 p.m. So sorry about that if you've been seeing the wrong time and showing up at the wrong time, but got that corrected. All right, we'll be back. My phone is back. I'm actually doing this from my phone, Instagram. So my US phone is back. I had to send it back to the States to get reactivated. Long story, but it's back. It's alive. It's back. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. And next week, same time, same place, wherever you show up. If anybody's interested in doing some more personalized, deeper individual work, on Instagram, just go to the link in the bio and look for the frequency information on frequency sessions. And for the rest of you, just go to my website, unboundedandfree.com, and you can get the information there. And feel free to reach out to me and message if you want more information. So good to see everybody. Have a good rest of your week. And until we meet again in person, or definitely see you in the ethers. So take care, everybody.